Okay, the pan tilt camera seems to be working now, so I'm not really bothered about the functionality of the camera itself. I'm just looking at the pan tilt. So I've got some mole grips operating the cables. Obviously that would be done by some kind of linear actuator on a machine, but to test it, just to make sure that the thing works properly in both axes, I need to bolt it onto this pallet like I've done now, put some weight on the pallet so it doesn't move around, and then simulate the linear actuators with these mole grips on the cables. So let's try and make that work. So there's your tilt. The pallet's moving around a little bit. Let's move my weight a bit. And there's the pan. So do both at the same time. So that is working really nicely. It took me a long time to work out that these cables and the way that they're mounted caused quite a lot of problems, because there's a lot of spring in the cable itself, which affected the pan side of things quite a lot. So in reality, when this is actually mounted on a machine, this cable will be a lot longer. So rather than being 200 millimeters, it's going to be about at least a meter, I think, so that it'll have plenty of room to move around. But if it's orientated carefully, the cable has its own springy action, so you can use a spring in the cable sheath to help the pan side of things. Same with the tilt. If the mechanism moves away from the pull of the cables can be used to an advantage. They can actually help the spring action. So the springs themselves are this type of spring. So I bought a job lot of springs, all different sizes, to try and find the optimum spring. That was quite difficult. So this one's way overpowered. I think these are the ones that I'm using at the moment. If they're too light, the friction in the cable is too big to get a spring back to the default position. So it's a bit of a compromise. Again, this rig is very artificial. I think in reality that these cables are going to be a lot smoother, but if I can get it working here, then it'll definitely work with longer, more flexible cables. So that's a default position for the tilt, so it points quite far down, which is quite useful. So during the design of this system, I did have problems with this pin, as you might expect. So if you put a massive great big spring like that, there's quite a lot of force on the pin. I did some calculations, and yeah, it looked like it's going to break the pin with a massive spring like this. So what I did when I ordered this last set of 3D prints from PCBWay, I got multiple versions of this disc here with holes put into the middle of the pin. I didn't think that the 3D printer would manage to do that. It was very close to the tolerances of the specification for the printer, but it's actually done them really well. And I was able to slide a 2mm piece of spring steel rod into that hole there, and the spring steel goes all the way up to the top of the pin, reinforcing the pin. So yeah, I was able to put this together without the pin breaking, which is basically what happened before. So this is the camera section itself. It's basically this box, which is IP rated, and there's a ribbon coming out of this fitting here. So to make it waterproof, you could fill that gland with resin and be 100% waterproof then. I mean, the ribbon's a little bit flimsy. It's not really going to survive well in a industrial situation, so it might need a bit of a sheath put over it to protect it. But yeah, it's 500 millimeters long, so if that was there, the ribbon then it's got plenty of length to go through whatever surface this thing's mounted on, and then the Raspberry Pi or whatever is protected from the rain if this is outside, which is supposed to be. It's supposed to be waterproof, so this can go through an opening in the machine or whatever it's mounted on, and then the Raspberry Pi mounted underneath it in a position where it's not affected by rainwater. It still might get condensation, but that's another thing altogether. Similarly, the actuators that operate on these cables can be put underneath the panel, away from the point where this is going to get rained on. But yeah, this is ready to mount on a machine, I think. I just need some longer cables and some actuators, and it's ready to go.